Hello everyone, welcome to the Sogang GSIS admission information session. My name is Hannah Kim and I'm an associate professor here at the Sogang Graduate School of International Studies. Today I'm going to be providing a brief overview of our admission information as well as the program details. So why would you choose Sogang GSIS? First, Sogang GSIS provides a lot of career development support, and the location is really nice as well. We are considered to be located in the center of youth. In addition, regarding GSIS, we have various programs that I'm going to be providing details on today, and we have a lot of distinguished faculty members. And in general, our students show high student satisfaction because we have very good instructor-to-student ratios, and we get to know the students very well. So let me start off by first providing a presentation overview. I'll be talking a bit about the degree programs and field of major, as well as some advantages and opportunities that we have at Sogang GSIS. Then I'll briefly describe our GSIS family from all over the world, and then, most importantly, the admission screening process. So let's start with the degree programs and major fields. In general, at Sogang GSIS, we have 4 majors, which includes International Relations, or IR for short, International Trade, IT, International Finance, which is IF, and Korea and East Asia Studies, which is KEA. All 4 majors have students, and they consist of both master's and PhD students. In general, our master's students come from various different backgrounds. They may have majored in a field that's quite different from the major that they come into at Sogang GSIS. But in general, we are open to those with bachelor degrees in various fields because we appreciate the diverse perspectives. For the PhD, we have a limited number of students that already have a master's degree and have some familiarity with the major of their choice. In general, the master's program consists of taking 45 credits. So you need to fulfill 45 credits or 15 courses by graduation within usually 2 years, but it can take a little bit longer depending on how many courses you take per semester. But in general, students are required to take 45 credits, or they can take 39 credits and instead write a thesis. The interesting thing about Sogang GSIS is that the thesis is optional. For PhD students, however, it is different because the thesis is mandatory, and in general, PhD students have to finish 15 courses or fulfill 45 credits in order to complete the program. As they take these classes, there are 2 common core requirements, which include 2 classes in particular: Introduction to International Relations and Economic Analysis. And in addition to these 2 classes, students will take a number of additional courses within as well as outside of each major field. So let's go into detail about each of the majors and their concentration requirements. In general, depending on the major that you pick, you're going to be taking 6 courses within your major. For international relations, there are a number of different courses, including theories of international relations, international political economy, international security and peace, as well as international organizations. And then for international trade, we have international economic analysis, international econometric analysis, international negotiations, and international business, among other courses. In international finance, we have some of the same classes as international trade, but we also have financial institutions and systems, as well as financial management and international finance. And then in Korea and East Asia Studies, we have courses related to East Asian economy, Korean society and culture, as well as politics in East Asia. And you may notice that for both international relations and Korean East Asia Studies, designing social inquiry is one of the optional choices. This is usually for students who are planning to write a thesis. And similarly, for international trade and international finance, you'll see the course Statistics for Business and Economics listed, and this is usually a course that's taken for students who are planning to write a thesis as well. So to provide some details, international relations, the field, focuses on the politics among nation states, as well as non-state actors, and it combines practical knowledge with theoretical tools, which can help students better understand the complexity of contemporary international politics. And in general, this major is designed for students who are interested in careers in international affairs, but also those who want to pursue a PhD in a related field. For international trade, the major focuses on building a practical and theoretical perspective, focusing on international trade, international business, international economic law, and policy analysis of international trade. And this is usually designed for students who want to pursue a career in the public and private sectors related to international trade, as well as those who want to pursue a PhD. In international finance, this focuses on those who want to study finance in both economics and business sides by covering various areas including corporate finance, investments, financial institutions, international finance, financial markets, and system, and more. And this major aims to educate students to become finance experts in the international financial market. And finally, we have the Korean East Asia Studies major. This major is an interdisciplinary area study program dealing with economic, political, and sociocultural aspects of East Asian countries, focusing on Korea, China, and Japan, as well as other Asian countries. And courses offered in this program deal with either region-wide subjects such as East Asian international relations, or specific country issues such as Korean economic development. And students who pursue this major end up pursuing careers in diplomacy or also go the PhD route as well. So let's start by talking a bit about the advantages and opportunities at Sogang GSIS. First, one of the unique aspects of Sogang GSIS is that we provide a number of different types of scholarships. What that means is that there are 4 types of scholarships that Sogang GSIS provides, and they're usually described as Scholarship A, Scholarship B, Scholarship C, and Scholarship D. Scholarship A means that you get the full 100% of the tuition covered when you start the program, whereas Scholarship B is 75%. Scholarship C is 50% and Scholarship D is 25%. And this scholarship is not guaranteed, but it is possible for future students to get one of these scholarships when they start the program, depending on their applications as well as their interviews. And in general, the scholarship changes every semester, and it depends on the GPA from the previous semester. So even if a student starts with Scholarship C during their first semester, if they get the good grades in the previous semester, then they can jump from a Scholarship C to a Scholarship A. So these are constantly changing, but there are many opportunities for students to get a scholarship when they start the program and continue to have a scholarship throughout the program. But in addition to this, students can also apply to be a teaching assistant or TA, as well as a research assistant or RA. And these types of positions are available for students starting from their second semester, or they can also join the student council, which also provides some financial support. In addition, we also have the GKS, the Global Korea Scholarship program that's provided by the Korean government. It's a full scholarship that provides monthly allowances and lots of benefits. And it also provides language courses for a year and master's courses for 2 years. For PhD students who get the GKS, they get courses covered for 3 years. And as of fall 2025, Sogang GSIS has 26 GKS recipients. In addition to that, we have the GKS application announcements that will be available on the GSIS website annually in March. So in addition to the scholarship, we also have exchange student programs where students can study both at Sogang GSIS and then they can take classes in different universities abroad. GSIS has established relations with several universities both in Asia and in Europe. And the application procedure for this is announced around March and September of every year. What that means is that students that are in their second semester and above can go abroad to other countries such as Poland, the Czech Republic, Taiwan, France, and Hungary, and they can study and take courses for 1 semester at the universities that are listed on this PowerPoint. In addition to that, students at Sogang GSIS can also study at other GSIS programs and still get credit in our program. So we have GSIS programs not just at Sogang but also at Seoul National University, Yonsei, Korea University, and Ewha University. And if there's a particular course that our students want to take there, they can still get credit for taking the classes there and then getting the credit through our program. But in addition, it's not just the GSIS programs. If some of our students want to take classes at the general Sogang Graduate School or Sogang Law School or Sogang MBA School, they can also take those classes for credit as well. But there is a cap in terms of how many classes the students can take. So in addition, we also have some dual degree programs. One is with Hawaii Pacific University, where you spend 1 year at Sogang GSIS and then 1 year at Hawaii Pacific University. And there's mutual credit recognition, meaning that up to 15 credits can be transferred to Hawaii Pacific University from the screening committee for the equivalent courses taken at Sogang University. And participating students will have to pay the tuition for Sogang and then for HPU, depending on which order the universities are attended. This is also the same for the University of Bradford, where we have signed an agreement for a dual degree program with this university, and you can get mutual credit recognition as well. In addition, we also provide some internship support programs. Every semester, some of our faculty members will do an internship workshop where they'll tell students about internship support that our university and our program provides. And then students who have done an internship will come and talk about their experiences as well. And so these internships usually take place during their vacations, where Sogang GSIS students take part in an internship during winter vacation or summer vacation. And if they participate in an internship abroad, they get financial support for airfare up to 1.2 million Korean won. And they can also get 3 credits recognized for participating in this internship. For those who do a domestic internship, they get 1 credit recognition. But despite all of this, they still get credit as well as work experience. In addition, one of the unique aspects about our program is that we have a special lectures on global issues series. What that means is that we have special guest speakers who are experts that come from governments, embassies, large corporations, non-governmental organizations, and research institutions who come to Sogang GSIS on Wednesday afternoons. And they provide a short lecture where they present and discuss international issues that are pertinent to their experiences, which is very enlightening for our students who are interested in pursuing similar fields. Previously, we had former ambassadors, such as the former ambassador of the Philippines to Korea, as well as the former ambassador of Israel to Korea. And we've also had former COO and executive vice presidents of different companies, including CJ Entertainment. And so we have these speakers come from many different fields. Here are some of the pictures that come from our special lecture series. As you can see, it's a very big lecture, and students gain both academic insights and real-world perspectives through these special lectures by global experts. And from the picture on the right side, you can see the list of some of the experts that we have had recently. And on the website, there's a list of all of the special lectures that we have had. In addition to all of this, we also provide a very strong international student support system. This system provides support to every international applicant, meaning that they provide support with administrative assistance, housing support, academic assistance, cultural and linguistic guidance, group activities, and Korean ID card issue assistance, which can actually be quite complicated. So our administrative office is very supportive of our international students, but also the student council and current students also provide a lot of help to incoming students as well. And sometimes faculty members can also be supportive and try to help in any way possible. In addition, Sogang University has a very strong language program, and a lot of students come here to learn Korean. And if you are a student at Sogang GSIS, you are eligible to receive a discount of 40 to 50% of the tuition fee for learning Korean at the Korean Language Education Center at Sogang. The 40 to 50% comes in part from the KLEC as well as our program, where 30% of the tuition is discounted by the KLEC if you are a GSIS student, and 10 to 20% is supported by GSIS. And there are 4 terms a year, and GSIS provides support for learning Korean up to 5 international students per term. But one thing to keep in mind is that sometimes these language classes overlap with your courses, so be sure to take that into consideration after you come here when you are applying for your classes. And also, if you do decide to do this, students can apply up to 3 times during the program. So in addition to all of this, Sogang GSIS has a lot of external opportunities and workshops. For example, we also have a math camp, which is an essential mathematics for economic analysis course. This is a pre-semester academic support program for incoming GSIS students where our faculty members provide training to help with essential math foundations for GSIS programs based on economics, business, statistics, and particularly for the majors of international trade and international finance. This really helps strengthen quantitative reasoning for data-driven graduate students, and it promotes inclusive learning as well by empowering students from diverse educational backgrounds to begin on equal academic footing. So this math camp actually takes place before you start classes, and it provides a really good training opportunity. In addition, we also have some research reading groups. These are primarily designed for PhD students, but master students who are pursuing or planning to pursue a PhD, or those master students who are writing a thesis, are also encouraged to join. In this reading group, students can write academic research papers and then present and get feedback and comments, not just from fellow graduate students, but faculty members as well. And sometimes they read articles together and try to understand them and have discussions about these articles. But this allows students to gain valuable insights into current research trends and efficiently acquire essential research methodologies. And in many ways, this also improves student academic presentation skills, which are crucial for participation in the academic community. Usually, faculty advisors will serve as moderators, and they'll also provide feedback and comments as well. In addition, we also have something called the thesis workshop. These are weekly workshops for master's students who are writing their theses and they're preparing for their thesis defense. This workshop allows students to present on their thesis and get feedback and comments from graduate students as well as faculty members, and it also helps them improve their presentation skills. This essentially functions as an information sharing session also, because there can be confusion about deadlines, or formatting, and these workshops provide information related to that as well as how to prepare for the defense in general. So students will present their drafts and receive feedback and questions from faculty members and attending students, which then helps them with the revision process and helps them feel better prepared for the actual defense. And so this is a practice session for those students that are writing a thesis. And as you can see from these two posters, these are posters from previous students who participated in this workshop. And a lot of these students have stated that this was very helpful in helping them pass their thesis defense. So in addition to these advantages and opportunities, as well as a lot of the programs we provide, we also have GSIS family from all over the world. Currently, we have students from many different countries, over 40 countries at the moment. And this allows students to not just learn about Korea while they're here, but also hear different and diverse perspectives, especially in the classroom where they're talking about various political or social issues. Here are some of the pictures that show the kind of atmosphere we have at Sogang GSIS. As you can see, there are a lot of outings and meetings and dinners, and some of them are student-based, meaning that the student council will host events for students. For example, the picture on the top left shows students having a picnic at the Han River. But we also have some major-based dinners where faculty and students from specific majors will have a dinner and get together and talk about, how they're doing, their issues related to the program, but also their personal development as well. And this is a really good opportunity for students to also interact with faculty members and vice versa. So there is a lot of outings and a lot of social gatherings for our students in addition to the courses and the external workshops that we provide. As I mentioned briefly earlier, Sogang GSIS is really known for its location. Sogang University is located in the center of Seoul, which is at the center of youth that overflows with vibrant energy. Nearby, we have many other universities, which provides a very student-like atmosphere, but there are also a lot of major attractions that are nearby and also can be easily reached by public transportation. So location-wise, it is a really good place to be. And additionally, specifically at Sogang GSIS, we have a lot of areas and spaces for our students to have social gatherings in, but also to study in. So as you can see from these pictures, some of these pictures show some of the rooms that we have for our students where they can lounge, they can eat, they can also talk to each other, but there are also study areas where they can focus on their research or focus on an assignment or their thesis. And so in general, our facilities are really well maintained and managed, and there's also coffee available for our students, especially during midterms and finals, which becomes very important. So most importantly, let me talk a little bit about the admission screening process. This application period changes depending on whether you're applying for the spring semester or the fall semester. If you're applying for the spring semester, the application period is during October, meaning that you have to send in your application during October, and the specific dates are always provided on the Sogang GSIS website. If you're applying in the fall, that means the application period is during April. And then once you submit your application, the announcement of the document screening results is the month after. So if you're applying for the spring, the announcement is during November, and if you're applying for the fall semester, the announcement comes in May. If you have passed the document screening results, then you will be participating in an interview. The interview is in English. And if you are in Korea, the interviews are going to be done in person. But if you are abroad, the interviews are done over Zoom. And you will have the interview with faculty members here, usually in your major. And the interviews are done in English because our entire program functions in English. All of our classes are in English. After the interview, you will get the announcement of final results the following month. So again, if you're applying in the spring semester, the announcement comes in December. And then if you're applying in the fall semester, the announcement comes in June. And if you do pass through all of these different periods and you are accepted into Sogang GSIS and you decide to come here, then the orientation will take place a few months later. So if you start in the spring, orientation will be in February. And if you start in the fall, orientation will be in August. So for details regarding the admission screening process, please be sure to check out our website because our website is constantly updated with additional information regarding your application. You may also want to ask about what materials need to be prepared and whether or not they can be scanned in advance or you have to send the paper material because this also changes as well. So that is it for this information session. If you have additional questions, again, please be sure to reach out to Sogang GSIS, to our administrative team, or to the faculty members depending on the major that you are interested in. Thank you so much for participating, and I look forward to seeing you at Sogang GSIS.